What did you imagine that you'll say differently that people don't know? Or did you think, let's treat it differently this time?
There's so many emotions, grief, hope. There's so many of it. Very rarely you get that, thing to explore. And also that's set in a period of 1978,
Right.
which is the most exciting part for me.
Just wondering, how young are you? You're saying 78 was like long back.
And let's not go there.
Right.
Not like long back,
okay.
but yeah.
Good. Sonali, you know how much we enjoy watching you. The worst thing in the world can happen to these children. Does it cross your mind that this may take a toll on me? Or are you good with, I can switch off when I want?
I definitely couldn't switch off from Raakh, let's be honest.
Okay.
But when the script came to me, it was scary that I was going to go down into it. I was not sure if I would not spiral. Will I be able to come out of it? I was scared of that.
I think, you follow this case, your character follows this case, and this camera follows you throughout. Very important role, I would say, in your career also. You've done some great roles, but this particularly, I feel, is a great one.
I mean, I was skeptical at first, but
Okay.
not because of the script or anything. Just that I've never played a cop. It comes with responsibility of its own kind. I'm sure, of course, it's not that I'm actually going to play a police officer.
मजा आता है uniform पहन के?
Yeah, it is. It's quite something.
It is quite something.
Except the pants were really high up. So, वो थोड़ा सा नया था.
70s style.
Yeah.
उसका feel अलग है.
But then high waist is back now. You should know.
No, I love high waist. It's just those particular pants.
Hello and welcome to Bollywood Hungama. I'm Rohit. We are not used to doing interviews with these many people. It's for our love for Prime Video. We agreed. So I'm going to give you a job. I already told him this. He's going to do a short introduction for our viewers. Who plays what? Please go ahead, and who plays what role and who's done what. Yeah.
Superb. So let me start from there.
Yes.
Anusha Nandakumar
Of course.
and Sandeep Saket, they are the creators of the show, Raakh.
Super.
There's Ramandeep and Akash.
Yes.
They are playing Rajju and Babu.
Whoa. So the bad guys.
Amir sir,
Yes.
he's playing Lieutenant Colonel Ashok Arora
Right.
in the film.
Yes.
Also the father of
Father of the child.
child. Yeah. Sonali ma'am,
Yes.
she's playing the mother.
The mother. Yeah. of the
Yes.
children.
And Jayaprakash Jatrav,
Yeah.
Ali Fazal.
Right. And you're the captain of the ship. First question to you. This story has been in public domain since we have all grown up.
Right.
What made you go back, and what did you imagine that you'll say differently that people don't know? Or did you think, let's treat it differently this time?
Sure. I think it all started with the story. When Anusha and Sandeep came to me with the story, and Anusha gave a wonderful narration, and I was completely blown. And the most exciting part at that point of time was the timelines, the non-linear narrative of it. We tried doing that in Patalok, but that was only for one episode. But I was really keen to explore it more in this one. So when I got this opportunity, I thought that let me just grab this and let me just explore this.
Right.
And also amazing characters,
Yeah.
all of them. There's so much to explore, There's so many emotions, grief, hope, there's so many of it. Very rarely you get that, thing to explore. And also that's set in a period of 1978,
Right.
which is the most exciting part for me, because you get to create this whole world.
Right.
And that was much before when I was born.
Right.
So, it's even more exciting. And also crime,
Right.
It does not only talks about the crime, it also talks about its aftermath and what happened before it. So, so there were many
Many
factors.
things to do this. Right. Just wondering, how young are you? You're saying 78 was like long back.
And let's not go there.
Right.
Not like long back,
okay.
but yeah.
Good. Right. Sonali, you know how much we enjoy watching you. This is a particularly, difficult, challenging role also, being a woman, being a mother, taking up something where the worst thing in the world can happen to these children. Does it cross your mind that this may take a toll on me, or are you good with I can switch off when I want?
No, I definitely couldn't switch off from
Yeah.
Raakh, let's be honest.
Okay.
But it's also taken me some time before I started exploring material like this, especially after the illness. It took me a couple of years of self-healing and being, because even the smallest of things would trigger and spiral. I would spiral back down the rabbit hole.
Right.
So I was I was not ready for it, but I think time is the best healer. And as I progressed, I felt when the script came to me, it was scary that I was going to go down into it. I was not sure if I would not spiral. Will I be able to come out of it? I was scared of that. But the beautiful nuance to grief that was given for this character, I loved that part. And I felt like I could not let this role go. And I had to take the risk of spiraling if I did. But I had to explore that part of it. The way grief has been handled was lovely.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a lot of roles where something dramatic and very horrible happens, and yet the way it has been handled and the way it has been written by Anusha and Sandeep, I just needed to explore that part.
Wow. So were there days where they stayed with you overnight, like bonding?
Yes, of course
Yeah?
it was. Yeah. Even now, when a certain like a music or a sound starts and it triggers. Okay, trigger is a strong word.
Correct,
It just
okay.
reminds me of
Remind.
it, but okay, I'm out of it. It's okay.
Right. Ali, you follow this case, your character follows this case, and this camera follows you throughout. Very important role, I would say, in your career also. You've done some great roles, but this particularly, I feel, is a great one. What did you see on paper, and what were your initial thoughts after reading what they wrote and after his narration and your meetings, that how will I take this ahead?
Well, I mean, I was skeptical at first, but
Okay.
not because of the script or anything. Just that I've never played a cop. It comes with responsibility of its own kind. I'm sure, of course, it's not that I'm actually going to play a police officer, but also it was period specific, and it had a lot of layers already written out for it. Yeah, I mean, it's a very challenging piece, and of course, like Prosit said right now, it's just so nicely well rounded with all the other characters.
Yeah.
That's the fun part. When I read the script, for me, that's where जो असली रस होता है मेरे लिए, the relationships that eventually formed the whole story. That was a straight buy-in for me. I mean, I had to be part of it. Of course, I've also been waiting to work with Prosit, and through him, of course, I met Anusha, Sandeep, and of course everybody else.
Right. मजा आता है यूनिफॉर्म पहन के?
Yeah, it's quite something.
It is quite something.
Except the pants were really high up. So, वो थोड़ा सा नया था.
70s fashion.
Yeah.
उसका feel अलग है.
But then high waist is back now. You should know.
No, I love high waist. It's just those particular pants.
Right. To you guys now, ये कोई normal negative characters नहीं है. ये ऐसे नहीं है कि चलो, they do something, some छोटा मोटा crime. How do you get into the mind of someone like that? What do you read? What do you do?
So I honestly, I mean, I don't get like much into the character. I believe that it's a director's medium, and I think the writers and directors have a story to tell, and I'm someone, I'm a way to tell a story. So I feel अगर मैंने ज़्यादा overpower कर दिया character को, so if my director on set wants me to enact a scene in a different way, then I might get stuck. But yes, I think किसी भी कैरेक्टर को लेके अगर मुझे लगता है कि 1 महीना या 2-3 हफ्ते काफ़ी नहीं होते, as an actor I already wanted to do something like this, so I had that in my mind that maybe someday I might be able to play something like this. So I think the journey started from that day, but as soon as I read the script, I spent a lot of time with the script, काफ़ी बार उसे पढ़ा, and then how he'll walk या how he'll sound, उसके ऊपर थोड़ा सा और सोचने लगा उसके ऊपर. And I think the great insight I got during the workshop, we did rounds of workshop before we started, is that particularly about my character Babu, I was told by Shashi Bhushan sir that he's not human. He is mixture of multiple animals inside. Okay, like he can be मतलब वो शेर है, वो गाय भी है, वो चीता भी है, वो कुछ भी है, but you have to select कि किस जगह पे कौन सा जानवर बाहर आएगा. So this like kind of moved me a little, and I started thinking that way. So when he is with Rajo, अगर उसे वो गाय बन जाना है तो वो उसके सामने वैसे भी हो जाएगा, एंड जब उसका वो दूसरा साइड बाहर निकलना है तो वो भी आ जाएगा. सो आई स्टार्टेड थिंकिंग दैट वे, एंड आई थिंक अदर थॉट इज कि नथिंग इज उसके लिए कोई सिविक नहीं है फॉर बाबू. The world is Babu's world and everyone is living in it. Right. And I think I just took it this way कि जैसे जंगल में होता है, अगर भूख लगी है तो शिकार करना है, तो आई थिंक वो मांगता है, उसे मिलता नहीं है तो वो शिकार कर लेता है. सो दिस वाज माय माइंडसेट फॉर
ग्रेट. बट व्हाट अ जॉब. डर लगता है आपके कैरेक्टर को देख के. सेम क्वेश्चन आपको. कुछ सोचते हो कि कितना दूर ले जाना है, कितना जानवर दिखाना है?
हाँ, लाइक मेरे साथ तो ये है कि मैं सोचता ही बहुत हूँ. जो ये गलत बात भी है, बट जब काम की बात है तो मेरे को लगता है ज़रूरी है सोचना, क्योंकि मैं थिएटर बैकग्राउंड से आता हूँ. तो वहाँ पर ऐसा होता है कि हमें अगर कोई कैरेक्टर फॉर्म करना है तो हमें टाइम मिलता है. और मैं बहुत लकी हूँ कि मेरे को इस प्रोजेक्ट में एक टाइम मिला वो स्पेंड करने का कैरेक्टर के साथ. और इनिशियल फेजेस में जब पहली बार स्क्रिप्ट आया तो मैंने जब पढ़ा तो एज एन रमन ही पढ़ा उसको. तो अब मैं हूँ तो ह्यूमन ही, तो मेरे को वो बिलीव करने में बहुत टाइम लगा कि यार ये करना है. तो वो क्योंकि पहली बार तो बहुत अच्छा लिखा हुआ था स्क्रिप्ट, और मेरे को पहली बार रोना आ गया था वो पढ़ के कि यार क्या क्रेजी चीज़ है. बट उसके बाद जब हम वर्कशॉप्स में गए, धीरे धीरे स्क्रिप्ट पढ़ा मैंने, तो मैं उस एक कैरेक्टर का एक बॉक्स होता है बेसिकली कि आप ये चीज़ें करनी है और क्या चीज़ें नहीं करनी है. तो मैं पहले तो वही था कि क्या क्या चीज़ें करनी है अपन पहले वो देख लेते हैं जो स्क्रिप्ट में मेरे को दिया हुआ ऑलरेडी. तो उसके बाद जब हम वर्कशॉप में आते हैं ना, तो कुछ तो मैं लेके आ रहा हूँ, और कुछ जो हमारे एक्टिंग टीचर्स थे उसमें नितिन सर और शशि सर, तो वो बहुत वो चेंजिंग मोमेंट था मेरे लिए. कि एक तो सबसे अच्छी बात ये थी कि मैंने कुछ फॉर्म नहीं किया था कि यही करना है, रिजिड नहीं होके आया था कि आप बताओ मैं तैयार हूँ सुनने के लिए. बट मेरे को उसकी क्लैरिटी चाहिए कि ये मैं कर रहा हूँ तो क्यों कर रहा हूँ. सेम प्रोफेसर के साथ भी हमारा, और इन्होंने वो स्पेस दिया मेरे को सर ने, मैम ने, कि क्योंकि अगर मेरे साथ सिंक इन नहीं हो रही है वो चीज़, तो वो ना जर्क देता है बॉडी को एज एन कैरेक्टर वाइज कि यार ये तो नहीं होगा, और अगर ये हो रहा है तो उसकी क्लैरिटी रहेगी तो मैं और थोड़ा नेचुरल वे में वो परफॉर्म कर पाऊंगा. और उसका एक तो जो एनिमल इंस्टिंक्ट वाली बात है, तो मेरे को जो पढ़ के पता लगा तो वो बेसिकली कॉकरोच के अराउंड ही रिवॉल्व करता है. अभी तो बहुत हाइप में है वो, बट मेरे कैरेक्टर में वो सर्वाइवल मोड के लिए इंस्टिंक्ट था. और हम थिएटर में ना मूड बोर्ड बनाते हैं, पूरे प्ले का एक मूड बोर्ड होता है. तो मैंने अपने कैरेक्टर के अकॉर्डिंगली एक मूड बोर्ड बनाया था, पिक्चर्स वाइज. तो उसका वैसा था कि आज मेरे को कौन सा सीन परफॉर्म करना है, तो वो टाइमलाइन वाइज था, और एट द सेम टाइम वो इमोशनल भी है उसमें आर्क. तो वो मेरे को बहुत हेल्प आउट करता है. और एक प्लेलिस्ट जो सर ने मेरे को दी जो बहुत गेम चेंजिंग था.
क्या प्लेलिस्ट थी ये जो आपने सुनी?
ये अलग अलग शोज के म्यूजिक्स हैं, बेसिकली बीजीएम्स वगैरह. उसमें कुछ सर ने ऐड करा, कुछ मैंने ऐड करा. क्योंकि मेरा हरियाणवी कैरेक्टर है, तो बेसिकली मैं चंडीगढ़ बॉर्न एंड बॉटम हूँ, बट मेरा एसएच भी बहुत फ्लुएंट नहीं है हरियाणवी, क्योंकि मेरे दोस्त हरियाणवी हैं. तो मेरे को लगा कि यार ये तो बेइज्जती ना करें, बाकी सब ठीक है. तो सबसे बेसिक तो वो है, क्योंकि इनसे मिलना है बाद में भी जाके. तो वो बहुत सही था कि मजा आया मेरे को करने में. और हीलिंग की जरूरत पड़ी बाद में, क्योंकि बहुत डार्क था, और बहुत, क्योंकि मेरे को है कि अगर मैं कर रहा हूँ, अपार्ट फ्रॉम जब हमारा शिफ्ट ओवर भी होता था, तो मेरे साथ ऐसा होता था कि मैं बड़ी जल्दी कट ऑफ नहीं कर पाता था उस चीज़ से, क्योंकि ये इतना हैवी था कि आप घर आ रहे हो, इवन आप ट्रैवल भी कर रहे हो, तो क्योंकि आपका विजन तो एक्टिव है, आप बेसिक एज एन रमन जा रहे हो, बट कभी कभार कोई एक चीज़ ऑब्जर्व करता था और मैं कट टू उसी जोन में, तो हम क्या हो रहा है, ये तो नहीं होना चाहिए था. तो बट हाँ, मज़ा आया मेरे को, काफ़ी मज़ा आया. और पहली बार ट्रैवल करना पड़ा इससे निकलने के लिए, तो होपफुली, क्योंकि ना मेरी आईज में मैंने खुद चेंज फील करा है. उस प्रोसेस के दौरान कि यार इवन एक दिन हम शूट के बाद एक मेरी फ्रेंड है, मैं उसके फ्लैट पे उससे मिलने गया था, तो उसने बोला भाई जब तेरा शो खत्म होगा ना उसके बाद मिलते हैं हम। लाइक क्रेजी। तो पता नहीं
एक बार
क्या
इससे
था।
बात करो तो जवाब कई बार नहीं देता था. He was somewhere else. So
तो
राइट, तो वो प्लेलिस्ट डिलीट कर देना अभी।
नहीं अब तो बहुत सही है।
अब उसको दूसरे गाने आ
हाँ,
गए.
दूसरे
हाँ,
गाने।
दूसरे गाने।
Right. Same question what I asked Sonali, similar question to you also. As just human beings, when this is happening to, your family, just on paper it sound, I don't know, I don't know what you all read. On paper, did it sound as gruesome, or was his narration any different? What did you add? Because it's just perfect when I watch it.
I mean, I am also a little, hesitant, apprehensive, little skeptical every time I'm getting into something. जैसे तो थोड़ा rigidity रहती है मुझ में भी. I need to be broken down a little bit
Right.
for me to accept and imbibe. तो शुरू में when I read it, my first reaction, यार मैं ये तो बस रोना धोना है. मैं मतलब कितना रोना धोना करूँ, और इससे वो था पहले, वो apprehension था. But after our very first meeting, after reading and sitting down across the table and discussing it, we immediately found layers to it. It is not just about grieving. There is strength, there is resilience, there is a breakdown, because this is an army man who is obviously trained to face all kinds of adversity and probably has faced all kinds of adversity. But even for him, facing something like this is soul crushing. So that breakdown, plus on top of that, it's also about resilience, like I said. But there is something, for me, it was going back to, unlike Rohit, I'm old enough. Since I was born, I was there during the 70s.
Okay.
And so going back to my childhood and kind of reconnecting with my end of innocence. Because as a child, when you for the first time get to know that the outside world, there is something like this can happen. It actually happened. I mean, now it seems like the norm. In today, nobody will bat an eyelid. This crime has happened, this has happened, that has happened. It's happened on a mass level. Doesn't matter. You're kind of imbibing it and moving along. But at that time, I remember it's like a milestone. When you hear something like this, and when you don't have the kind of like the media and the connectivity, and yet it has that kind of an impact on a national level. Across the country, everybody is talking about this one thing that has happened. So it was like a historic occasion in that sense, where so for me to go back to that period and from there to start finding, so you can't really prepare for something like this. And you can't go and say, हाँ जी आज मैंने किसी का गला दबा दिया तो अब मैं तैयार हूँ. So it was basically breaking down and building again. And that is what that despite the most, the biggest thing in terms of, just the terror of it, that people still can move on. This is like, for a parent, there is nothing worse than this. Basically, your future has been killed.
Yeah.
Whatever you built, whatever you wanted from this world, it's gone already. But how do you still keep breathing? So for me, it was that thing, to find something, that inner strength, that you are finished, but you're still breathing.
Right. Very interesting. To the both of you, you all are the writers and creators. their problem is not their problem, it's a society problem. ये कहाँ से आते हैं, इनको इनकी upbringing क्या थी, इन्होंने क्या क्या सहा, वो भी दिखाना है. But at some point, I should not start feeling for them कि ये दोनों बेचारे हैं. How do we balance that? कि we have to think of the victim here, but if there's so much of their story also that I end up thinking यार ये भी हमारी society ऐसा है, ऐसे क्यों बने? कैसे ये balance कर सके कि we show them as the bad guys also?
We there is always a risk, or there is always this fear of whenever we show these like bad people, there is always a backstory to them.
Correct, yeah.
There always a some kind of redeeming. उसको बचपन में पीटा था किसी ने, उसने ये किया था. So we wanted to cut all of those things out. Where these two people come along, he is like Babu's character has no redeeming qualities, even in his personal life. Like as he is talking about, he's animal. He thinks he is the the alpha of the entire group. He is the apex predator. That is what he's coming from. And him having any kind of redeeming quality would have been we would have been very unjust to the world. Because this guy has no redeeming quality. Rajo, on the other hand, has he comes from insecurity. He's seeking validation. He's seeking validation not from the world. He is not going out in the world and saying, "Dekho, mere liye kuch karo." He's seeking validation from the worst of the human. He's seeking from him, from Babu. So at the same time, there is power, there is bit of weakness here. So we had to keep them balanced at the same time and not have any kind of redeeming qualities. When he goes back home, we see what he's capable of. All along he's been playing, because it's set in the post-emergency. So he is an aftermath of that. He is affected by that. And when we go to him and how badly it affected him, and how badly he feels emasculated, he feels underconfident, he feels he doesn't have that control over his life, and that control, that validation seeks from him.
Right.
And he is such a manipulator that he will always loop him in. This is the marriage of extremely toxic marriage, where ki both of them are abusing to each other, abusive to each other, but they can't live without each other.
Correct.
This is the only their friendship, their a shred of friendship that they have, which is also survival instinct. Because he can't survive without him, and he can't survive without him. Both of them can't survive. That is the only bit of human shred of human nature that is there. Otherwise, it's nothing, no redeeming quality. So that is why, from the beginning, the effort was not to give them.
Right. To you as a female writer, ये तो दोनों बच्चों के साथ हुआ, male female, so there is no gender thing there. But when you're writing for someone like, say, Sonali, who's a mother, she takes days to even accept it. What are the things you keep in mind, just as a woman to woman, when you're writing? It happened to a girl also. The victim was also one girl. This takes another kind of a pen, I think, to write.
So what we were very interested in telling was the story of the anatomy of a crime. It was, it was not, and this one particularly, because like I was also saying, it really changed something at that time. And even now, there is so much happening around us, and it affects us at such a deep level that you want to not be numb to it, but we are kind of getting there. So we wanted to kind of tell the story about the anatomy of a crime and the victims around it. And then when we thought about the parents, and and that was what was interesting, because one of them he's an army officer. So for us it was like, as a mother, and especially like Mona Arora, we feel that we kind of think that she's going to implode, but she ends up exploding. And it's the other way around with the father. He's the one who's the army guy. We think jaake aag laga denge, but he's feeling so helpless, and so much so that he's able to he can't even control himself in a public place. It's gone to that. So we wanted to treat the two characters in that way, and play with this, that what happens in grief is unpredictable, and you'll never know how any parent's going to react. So that was the main thing, to feel deeply for the victims, because these guys are the perpetrators. They are on their path to burn everything. But what is it that they leave in their wake?
There's also, other than grief,
Yeah.
what is killing for a parent more than anything else is the guilt.
Yeah.
You are supposed to be the primary protector of your children. And on top of that, this is an army guy
Yeah.
who's supposed to be protecting everybody's,
everybody, yeah.
But for him to not be able to, that guilt is probably more damaging than the grief itself. So that was another layer that we kind of
Right.
discovered while, after the first read itself. Because
Right.
like I said, initially I was like, ये तो सिर्फ
True. Right. Sonali, when I was watching, जब ये बच्चे जाते हैं, आपका ही कैरेक्टर, आप कहते हो कि हाँ जाओ, तुम भी साथ में जाओ, वो अकेले कैसे जाएगी, and I'm not coming, and it's just a normal day. The first thought that came to my mind was like, oh my God, इनके पास मोबाइल भी नहीं है, like that's a natural thing when you're watching in today's times. Have things changed today? Do you think the world has changed, or it's just become, crime is there, but it's just different? What do you think?
So, I do remember this story because we were all, this was a story that was like your parents started telling the children that,
ऐसे दो characters
ऐसा हो, ये आएंगे और ऐसे हो सकता है. And I don't know who said it, but that word was absolutely right. It was like an end of an age of innocence in the society where as you see the opening of the series, you see the kids very nonchalantly taking a lift, getting into it. They're saying, "Beta ji chhod denge." Very like that it's a done thing, and it was a done thing. Till this happened, and you started teaching children that don't trust everyone. So what happened was the loss of innocence of a society, and
so
that
sad.
I think Anusha and Sandeep, and in the way they've shot this between three of them with Process, they've shown that end of an age of innocence very beautifully. And today, you're asking me about today, we are very, very far from that age of innocence.
Right, yeah.
So, and I don't know where we are going. But I am always a hopeful person. And I feel that when I see the young generation today, they see so much. And sometimes when they've seen so much, they're already dealing with it in a very different way from how we deal with it. They start compartmentalizing. They don't, look at it so much. So there are younger kids who don't really believe everything that is shown to them. So human beings are very resilient.
Yeah, true.
And we will find a way. And I'm always and eternally a hopeful person.
That's very nice.
So I feel that though an age of innocence somewhere there ended, there's a different way and different kind of innocence that will come in and will prevail. And we will find out.
Right. It's a cycle, right?
Yes, I feel that.
Yeah. Ali, you said the first time you play a cop. Did it make you realize the challenges of their life? We think ये uniform है, ये सब ठीक कर देगा. That's the uniform का image that we have. At least we are given. Just look at the challenges and the politics in their own system. They are suspended. They have so much paperwork, things which we don't see. What all did you learn about just being a cop?
It was a very lonely journey, actually. Very lonely. Very claustrophobic in at times for the character. And despite having to fight through so many layers himself, being a very common man in a Vardi, right? He's studying, he's fighting the layers of society, status, caste, and then in the middle of that, such a gruesome thing is happening, and he's trying to and it's so sad that it keeps hitting him कि ये मैं पीछे चल रहा हूँ. It's like constant catch up. It's the worst feeling when you're there and यहाँ खेला हो गया है already. So that was, I think, that was a bit hard to imagine for a police officer. And I think they all go through that. I'm sure they do. Or at least did.
Right. Lastly to you also, same question what I asked them, that how do you, firstly, what is the takeaway that you want people when they watch this?
I think there are many, many takeaways. I think the most relevant part of the story is that these kind of crimes are still happening. When it started, that was the beginning. And from there we are only going down.
Yeah.
But there was a world, which was before that.
Before that.
You know, I think it's possible somewhere if we all, you know, talk about it, if we all understand the gruesomeness of the crime. The idea was never to entertain people with the crime.
Right.
You know, to feel that, you know, to feel the.
But I think it's important, right? Like I remember you had said it earlier also that in this, particularly in this day and age, it's so important that people start feeling that thing again. I think we've gotten numbed out because of the excessive exposure from the the tellies and the phones and everything. That is just sometimes you have to stop and that's when cinema comes in, I suppose. That okay, here's a story, very much like literally your neighborhood right now, and maybe you can stop and because this is one family affected, like one unit. Imagine now it's happening at a scale that's unimaginable. I mean, we as a country are right now, I'd say, the capital of many things in the world.
So the shaking up of this whole thing, was needed because, like, there's a numbness, there's a complete numbness everywhere, and we need to hammer that, and we need to show the reality. We need to show the consequences of this and what was before that. So I think that should be the biggest takeaway.
Right. Do you feel for any of their characters? Do you feel for at least one of the characters that यार ये सुधर सकता था अगर society ने मौका दिया होता था? Are you supposed to feel that?
I mean, I chose not to.
Okay.
I chose not to, and from the very beginning, even I remember there was this one scene when Babu is asking his mother that कि तू मैं इधर रहने आया हूँ, and do you love me? Do you love me?
Yeah.
And the mother chose not to speak.
She doesn't answer.
So, for the longest time, I was debating the kind of music I want to use for that. And at one point, I decided not to use any music, because that was creating that emotion. So these are the choices which we made.
Right. I have last 12 seconds, so I'm going to ask you. Do you? What is the scene that will stay with you? That you also thought this was too much for me, but I did it.
My scene?
Yeah.
I think I haven't seen the whole series, but there are portions of it that I've seen.
Right.
And I feel that more than I will have certain scenes that these two boys have been so phenomenally created, these characters. I think those are the ones that will stay with me. And especially when you see them now and you see these lovely, sweet boys. And when you look at them on the screen, you're like, I don't want to see them again. You get so frightened. So I think that will stay with me.
Nice. Actually, last word आप दोनों को देना चाहिए. You can look into the camera and tell people what you want to tell, because they will look at you very differently after this.
I think as ma'am said, हम लोग ऐसे हैं नहीं. I think खुशी होगी अगर नफरत मिलेगी characters को, because that's how we'll know that we did our jobs. And I think all the credit goes to Sir and them, because I think in every scene मतलब हमें जो भी करवाया इन्होंने करवाया मैं basically
नफरत उनसे करना.
मैं तो यही बोलूँगा कि यार हमने बहुत मेहनत से शो बनाया है, क्योंकि एक ऐसी स्टोरी है जो हमारा पूरा यूनिट चाहता था कि यार ये पहुंचे लोगों तक, एज इट इज पहुंचे, और बहुत प्योर टीम है हमारी, और हम सबने वाकई बहुत मेहनत करी है, और आप सब देखोगे तो होपफुली आप वो रेजोनेट कर पाओ, क्योंकि हम उसको एज इट इज प्रेजेंट करना चाह रहे थे, और होपफुली हमने किया है. बाकी अब आपके ऊपर है, प्लीज देखो, और हम आपके रिव्यूज का भी वेट करेंगे.
Thank you so much, and thoroughly enjoyed watching it. I've binge watched it like most people are going to do it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.